Today is a landmark day. It is a history-making day. In fact, no single day has ever changed the landscape of college athletics as drastically and significantly as this day, July 1st, 2025. Remember where you were this day when college athletics made historic changes. He is Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. This is Village Vice. MyBookie.ag sponsors the show. They'll give you a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip when you use promo code BARN at MyBookie.ag. Zach, let's start with Nike. It's day one for Auburn of the Nike launch. How excited are you about the Nike launch?
I'm excited that people are excited about it.
And aren't they? I mean, they are really,
people are really into it for sure.
We had we've got like a group Slack within athletics that I have access to. And like 100 people posted pictures in their Nike shoes because they haven't been able to wear Nike shoes to work. You can't wear the competitor's stuff. And so they all wore them and took pictures of it. It felt like everybody's not like dress up day in high school, but like everybody's got the same stuff. You want to show off your stuff. And that's kind of what it felt like a little bit today.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, anything that can create buzz in the middle of summer, I'm all for it. And I think it's good for Auburn. I'm excited about it from the performance standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, just hearing athletes talk about like Under Armour shoes and cleats, they seem to be inferior to like Nike's product. And I'll take the athlete's word for that more than, I mean, I've never had a pair of either of those shoes, so I don't know, obviously, but I'll take their word for it. And so that aspect of it, I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
Am I going to like buy Auburn stuff with a Nike swoosh on it? Maybe, but it's probably the same like percentage chance of me buying something with Under Armour, so I don't know if I really look at that a ton.
You won't buy any until July 25th. And
people are upset about that.
That's been the cause of a little bit of consternation today. And I want to kind of lay out why it is that way. Because I think it's a fair question. Like you ramp up to this launch date, why can't we buy stuff on the launch date? And there are two different calendars for the launch. And we won't take too long on this because I think it's a fairly simple thing. And there's like breaking news to talk about too that we'll get to today.
I'm really shocked we led with this. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I do kind of, but like July 1st, the only day that it's ever going to be a brand new first day thing. So,
sure. All
right. So the contract takes effect today. Nowhere was it ever stated that stuff would be available today. It's just the old contract ended June 30th. The new contract begins July 1st. Like if you close on a house on June 30th, are you hosting a dinner party on July 1st? Probably not. You're going to have to move in the next day when you close on a new house. So the closing date, the beginning date, those are different. And put practically, so there are two things at play here practically, why you can't get stuff till July 25th. Let's say Dick's Sporting Goods and Academy don't get their shipment at the same time. And let's say they don't get the full shipment of gear. Let's say Dick's Sporting Goods gets a few things and Academy gets a few things, and Hibbett and other places are going to get different levels of stuff at the same time. So you're going to go to one of these stores and you're going to be real upset that they have a small selection because they didn't get it all at the same time. Yeah, well, I went to Academy. Well, how come Academy in Birmingham doesn't have what Academy in this other place has? Or why can't I get everything in Atlanta? The 25th allows everything to get everywhere. Everything everywhere. All right. The logical follow-up to that is, why didn't you just backdate it so that it could all get there July 1st? July 25th is the first day of the new fiscal year for athletics revenue reporting. I think a lot of this has to do, I haven't been told this explicitly, but I know July 25th, I don't think it's a coincidence.
I see. That's interesting.
In this new world of revenue sharing and house settlement payments that take effect today, July 1st, the fiscal year 26, you need to squeeze every dollar you can into the new fiscal year.
That makes sense. Makes a ton of sense.
That's the logical. Let's take the emotion out of this. That's the logical. It has nothing to do with tariffs. It has nothing to do with deliveries. It has nothing to do with recruiting. It has nothing to do with golf. Okay. You can't get it because everybody's going to have everything at the same time, launch on the same date, and it's going to go on fiscal year 26 in the books for athletics revenue.
All right.
There you go. Speaking of apparel.
Yeah.
Can you hit people with Roback, and then we'll talk about a 5-star safety commitment for your Auburn Tigers for 2025?
Yes. If you need, if you need Auburn stuff before July 25th, you can go to roback.com. They've got Auburn gear over at Roback, Auburn prints and hoodies and collar shirts. They've got it all. Roback.com. Use promo code VICE20 for 20% off your order.
Okay. 5-star former Texas A&M safety Jacoby Matthews is headed to the Plains. This is a 6'1", 205 safety with 12 college starts under his belt. And Zach, this was announced just within a few minutes of us starting the show today. Big addition to the roster for Auburn.
Yeah. Didn't play last year. Played a ton the year prior in 2023 for Texas A&M. Played a ton as a freshman in 2022. And he played in a lot of different ways. He played in the box for over 100 snaps. In 2023, he played over 150 snaps at slot corner. And then he played a ton at free safety. So over 200 snaps at free safety. Was on special teams, pretty much every facet of it, with kick return, kick coverage, punt return, and even a field goal block. I mean, this is a versatile player, very athletic player.
Yeah.
We've said, would Auburn get another safety? That was some of the chatter, going into spring even, and it didn't really happen. This seems worth the wait. For sure. I think, there's eligibility questions based off of his post. I mean, it sounds like, just reading in between the lines, that I think his grades is kind of what it looked like. And whatever, we'll see what happens. And, we'll learn more about that situation, I guess. Not really important now. He's cleared, but seems like a no downside addition, Jacoby Matthews.
Yeah, follow-up question to that is, no downside. What's the upside? Where does he fit in? Where do you think he fits in? Today's July 1st, August 1st, when preseason practices are happening. And we're 59 days away. We're Isaac Bolger days away from kickoff. So where does he fit in here over the next 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously feel really good about Caleb Harris, and they feel good about some of these young guys like Eric Winters and New Boy Fagans. I think he's going to be in the mix with all of those guys. Sylvester Smith is a guy that I was pretty high on, but it does seem like some of these guys are in a position to possibly compete for a lot of his snaps as maybe that third safety. And I think he's going to be competing. I mean, this Jacoby Matthews guy is he's got a great track record. So we'll see how quickly he can grasp the defense. But if I remember correctly, A&M's defense was pretty decent in 2023, and he was a big part of it. He's got an 80 coverage grade on Pro Football Focus. This is a good player.
I get
he didn't play last year. Is he in shape? Is he still sharp? Those are questions that he's just going to have to prove that he's still got it.
How similar could this turn out to the Jarrett Stidham situation? He sat out for a full year and had to work out at a local high school in order to stay in game shape mentally and physically. And so it's the same kind of deal here. Matthews is really interesting. The more you read about him, he's from Louisiana. He returned a blocked field goal for a touchdown in a game against Ole Miss 2 years ago. Yeah, he was a part of that, the greatest recruiting class of all time that Jimbo put together in 22.
Yeah.
And he was the number 1 ranked safety in the country.
Yeah, this is a talented player.
Yeah.
And a productive player. And what was a pretty crowded and competitive A&M roster, he was in the mix in all of it. So I mean, Auburn's defensive back room, I think, was already one of the best in the conference. Extremely underrated. This makes it better. There's no question. There's no question about it.
Yep. So that's a new addition. Auburn has picked up some news either on the recruiting trail or the portal circuit that is positive, and some positive news was needed. I wish Matthews could impact the recruiting class ranking, but that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah, they need a lot of different things to happen on the recruiting front, but they just keep getting second for a lot of these guys, or at least top 3 for some of these guys. And a lot of them seem to be going to Alabama. JC Anderson just went to Ole Miss. The Mpuma guy went to Nebraska. Sedarian Morgan's expected to announce soon, and he's expected to pick Bama. I think Colorado's in it now, but I think it's going to be Bama. And it's just you're seeing other places. Rankins is one. The defensive lineman Ernest Rankins, and he just picked up predictions to FSU. Yeah, I mean it's not looking good. Denarius Gray's predicted to flip to Kentucky at the time of us recording this. Like, there's just a lot of I don't know. There's something going on. So
I want to bring you. I mentioned this yesterday. I would like to open the French doors and bring you out onto the balcony of hypotheticals.
Okay, it's a little warm today, but
real warm.
That's okay.
But we're going to go out
to be on the balcony of hypotheticals.
All right, here we are. We're back on the balcony of hypotheticals.
Right.
Why would Auburn be second for so many? Like, what's happening? What are some hypothetical reasons why this would be happening? Florida State was 2-10 last year.
Right.
Like, the future of that program doesn't have a lot of wind behind its sails. So let's go through a few hypothetical reasons. Is it that this staff stopped putting in effort in recruiting? They stopped building. Is that logical that they've stopped putting in effort and stopped building relationships with players when all they've talked about were how the 25 and 26 classes were going to be the main cogs by which they'd be judged?
No. I mean, I think it's money.
Okay. In what regard? I like that you went there next. Do you think the money's not there?
Well, I mean, all the reporting seems to be that the offers at other places are more. And that seems to be the situation with Denarius Gray, that Kentucky is offering him more than Auburn. Georgia's offer to Tootle was more. Sounds similar with Devin Carter. The Devin Carter one, I'm okay pushing to the side. I think it's a different situation than the other ones. But no, I think it's money. Is it there? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's not there, or they would be using it.
Okay. I find it hard to believe that there's less money, because why would money not be there? Well, they haven't won enough. Well, Florida State was 2-10. And the outlook on their program is nowhere near. Like, there wasn't as much momentum. It doesn't dry up like that, in other words. If you're trying to stop a giant ocean liner, or you're trying to stop a freight train,
it's the only thing that consistently makes sense, unless you want to say it's a bunch of different things, which it could be.
Yeah.
You want to do that, that's fine. I think it's a worse situation.
Yeah.
But to me, like, it's the only thing that makes sense across the board.
Okay. So I want to continue this because we're out here on the balcony. But to my point, to kind of finish the point, when you have this big ocean liner and you have this big freight train or whatever, it doesn't just, those things don't stop just like that. They don't stop on a dime. It takes a long time. And it feels like the loss of momentum was sudden. It wasn't gradual. Is that off base, or would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Okay. So what are some logical, reasonable hypotheticals for why it would have suddenly stopped? It's not like people gave money in January, February, March, April, stopped in May.
Why not?
Why would they? Why wouldn't they stop?
You pay for your portal class and your recruiting class, and
you don't think it was a good enough recruiting class or portal class to keep people invested? Here's a hypothetical.
Okay.
They're going to these other places, and these other places are guaranteeing NIL payouts that are beyond reality in the new revenue sharing NIL model. Auburn is not. Is that reasonable? On the balcony of hypotheticals, is that reasonable?
Sure.
Okay. Now I don't know why there's 7. Like that, like something. It seems like if they're 30th or 40th, all right, I think that's more reasonable. I don't know why they're as far down as they are, but you know,
I mean, yeah, and this is before, you know, you lose. We're expected to lose a few guys. Like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look good.
Yeah. But like if I am an Auburn football player, and let's say I was, I don't know, let's talk $1 million. Okay.
Wow.
Let's talk $1 million.
Okay.
Let's say I was promised $1 million. Not
per
at all.
year or
Yeah.
over 4.
Well, let's say $1 million a year.
Okay.
And I know that's really high end, but let's just say it's a round figure.
5-star receiver or something. Yeah, sure.
And let's take the names off the schools. Let's just say I'm a 5-star player. Can I be guaranteed $1 million anywhere under the current July 1 NIL structure?
Sure. Yes, you could.
Nope. How?
The allotment of rev share. If they want to give $1 million of it to one guy, they can.
They're not going to do that, though.
But you asked if they could, and they could.
I don't know that they can. I think there's a cap on the rev share.
Interesting.
So I can't be guaranteed $1 million from rev share, and I can't be guaranteed what's like. All right, so I did the numbers on this before. The average rev share per football player, using some industry averages of like 65% allocated to football,
which I think is low.
Well, but that's the average. That's the industry wide. That's the stuff that's being reported out there now that's available. That's the number that's out there.
Is that a school is going to give only 65% of the rev share to football?
That's correct.
Okay.
So 65%, 85 scholarship guys. It's about 157,000, 153, 57, somewhere in there per guy. So that's what you can estimate. The rest is going to come from collectives. But every deal that's more than $600 has to pass through the new NIL clearinghouse. You can't guarantee that in June. You can't pitch deals on a theoretical basis and get them approved. So the real actual value of NIL deals jumping up to $1 million, highly, like statistically anomalous, unlikely.
All right, so you're saying, you're making the claim then that the other money is going to come from outside sources, and they're going to have to go through this clearinghouse to get it approved, and you're saying that they aren't going to be able to do that.
Correct, in an above board basis.
Okay. If you're Auburn,
and
that's what you're banking on, you're putting a ton of faith into this new governing body actually doing what they say they're going to do.
True.
And Brad, I mean, what do you think is more likely? That they do what they say they're going to do for thousands and thousands of athletes, and they monitor every NIL deal.
Yep.
Or they don't. Like, which one do you think is more likely?
What I hear you saying, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this, what I hear you saying is find the gray area and operate in the gray area if that's what everybody else is doing. Which sounds a whole heck of a lot, hypothetically, like recruiting 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago.
I don't understand, and I've talked to a few lawyers about this. I don't understand any sort, and the legal folks I've talked to are kind of confirming that this is a discussion happening amongst legal people that follow athletics, that they like, what kind of standing are they going to be able to have to determine fair market value?
Yeah.
And I just think, like, I'm all for, like, great, play by the rules, whatever. I just think we're making a lot of assumptions. If that's what's happening, we're making a lot of assumptions on, everybody saying that they're going to actually do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Assuming they even can do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, because there are going to be a lot of deals valued at over $600 that come through. So do the guys just not get paid? Do the deals not get accepted so they don't get paid until the deals are accepted or declined? You have a lot of angry people if that's the case. I don't know how big this company is, but ain't got enough employees if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they not approved until they're approved, or are they approved until they're not approved?
That's a great question too.
On the balcony of hypotheticals, the future of Coach Freeze at Auburn, how much do you think that plays into this? Whether it's health related or wins and losses related. Don't you know other coaches are hammering right now? If they go 7-5, they're going to get rid of him. He's got to go 9-3. He's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they have to hammer it. Like, I think it's known for sure. Yeah, no, I think that's part of it. I think it's part of it for sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't see a clear path, like a good class as far as rankings go.
Yeah.
In this one, I think the hole's too big at this point for you to dig yourself out of it.
Could be.
But you can improve. And I do think the top half of your recruiting class is going to matter more in this rev share era than it did before, because I think you're going to prioritize like your top 60 roster spots moving forward. So, man, I think Auburn can do things after this class that'll help them, and they'll be okay. And you won't feel this until a few years from now anyway.
Yeah.
And you got to survive this year. Like, you need this year to be successful, or none of it matters anyway. So I don't think it's the end of the world, but I do think it's concerning.
Yeah. With the portal, it matters less, but it's not, you do have to have it. I mean, these other programs aren't slowing down. And if they're signing 30 players and 15 of them are 4- and 5-star guys, or 20 of them are 4- and 5-star guys, I'd rather have those guys on campus and lose them, especially under the new structure of rev sharing, where the guarantee is going to be less than in the past. That's why you saw all these guys running to sign deals before June 30th. That's why our baseball guys were taking care of stuff during rain delays in regionals. Like, get the stuff done before July 1st. I think the world that we're in recruiting right now, today, July 1, is very different from the world that we were in 24 hours ago, much less a week or 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'll be interested to. I say all that to say, I'm
just you and I, like, you have so much more faith in the clearinghouse than I do.
Maybe. I don't know. I did just kind of pose it as questions. Doesn't mean necessarily that I believe in it. Remember, this was the balcony of hypotheticals.
I understand. All right. I think that does it for today's show.
All right. We welcome your comments. Welcome your thoughts. Loved the feedback yesterday on the all Under Armour team. Really appreciate that. And had a lot of folks who were right there with defending Kenny Irons being on the list, and others who took your side on that too.
A lot of folks very hound draw Powers too.
Very true. Yeah, true. Others hating on me for forgetting about Roger McCray. Did Roger send in a statement? Did he send a video statement?
He did not.
Did he read your text, or did he leave you on read?
I didn't text. I don't have his number.
Okay. All right. We'll try again tomorrow, I guess. Thanks, everybody, for watching. You could have watched a million other things. You chose this. We appreciate it. Subscribe if you're not already. We would appreciate that, too. Remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.